Once we were made aware of some of the activities, we immediately reached out with our local law enforcement. Sheriff David James at his office has been working closely with us in making sure that the public is protected from this type of fraudulent activity. I recently talked to Chief Mudd, who has done an excellent job in his investigation to make sure that people are held accountable. I think it's very important for the public to understand and know that temporary tags are official registration documents and they're tightly regulated under Kentucky law. Temporary tags are never issued by individuals or notaries. Only licensed dealerships may issue the temporary tags, and then in some limited legal defined circumstances, our Jefferson County Clerk's office. To obtain a valid temporary tag, special criteria must be met, including proper vehicle, documentation, and compliance with state requirements. Temporary tags cannot be legally bought, sold, or transferred through social media, online marketplaces, or through private individuals. Any offer to sell a temporary tag outside a dealership or our clerk's office should be assumed to be illegal and fraudulent. Using or purchasing a fraudulent tag can result in fines, vehicle impoundment, or most likely criminal charges. My office, the Jefferson County Clerk's office, works closely with law enforcement. We'll continue to do so to protect the integrity of the vehicle registration and public safety. We've been in contact with the state level in other clerk's offices to make sure that the tags are better and protected. I'll give you an example. This is what a proper temporary tag should look like. Unfortunately, you're seeing people print tags not related to our office, not related to a dealership, similar to that of counterfeit money. The law enforcement officers here with me today have done an excellent job discerning the differences, doing the investigation, the detective work, and making an arrest. They'll continue to make arrests. If you break this law, you will be prosecuted. I have here with me my friend in the sheriff's office and also Chief Mudd, who recently had a successful arrest on a temporary tag. He has a copy of one of the temporary tags he may want to show you, and he may well be able to say a few words. If you would.
So hello, Chief Mudd with Bancroft Police Department. Bancroft is a small rural city in the northeastern part of Jefferson County. We received a tip from someone about the posting on a Facebook group called Mag 82, advertising the sale of temporary tags. Acting on that tip, verified some information and eventually set it up where the informant was able to purchase 10 of the tags. They were brought to his location by 2 individuals who were subsequently arrested for 71 counts of stealing or producing or illegally acquiring a temporary tag, Class D felony. And then one of the individuals, both are notary publics, but one of the individuals ended up notarizing the vehicle title without the seller being present at the request of the informant. And they were charged for that. The tags that we recovered that day, all of them are fraudulent Kentucky temporary tags. They are not tags that have been issued by the clerk's office or any other Jefferson or otherwise. And
Bring one of the fake ones with you?
there is one fake one. The difference between them is kind of apparent when you're close up. Unfortunately, if it's a police officer sitting behind a vehicle, 10 feet or so, they're not as easily discernible as fraudulent. But when you hold one, you can see that they're just clearly not real. The crispness of the lettering, of the seal, and all of that tend to give it away. But that's generally And also the other thing I was going to mention is neither of the individuals have any affiliation that I'm aware of with the Jefferson County Clerk's Office.
It went long ago, just a few weeks ago, that we worked in conjunction with our sheriff's office to make sure that there was another bust over fraud. And we take this so serious because the integrity of the process is so important. And that nowadays with technology, it's not hard to print documents, the fraudulent documents. But we're going to make sure it is absolutely not worth it. We've seen these type of fraudulent temporary printed tags.
Well, I can't speak to their active investigation with regards to ours. Myself, I've made 100 to 200 arrests on fraudulent tags or altered tags in the last couple of years, and that includes at least 4 larger investigations involving dealers or people acting as dealers without licenses. In some cases, mass producing fraudulent tags in their homes. So it's been going on for a couple of years, and Mr. Yates included, the Jefferson County's clerk's office has been a tremendous partner in detecting and prosecuting individuals, as has JCSO. They've helped my department with personnel and intelligence in some of the previous investigations. So it's a group effort. The Kentucky Attorney General's office has been involved, as well as the Kentucky Transportation Committee. We're all trying to work to make it less likely that this can happen.
For the sheriff's office, what's the purpose of having fake temporary tag? Why do people want these on their cars?
Well, you don't have to pay taxes. You don't have to go through to get it registered. You don't have to get it inspected. If you're bringing a car in from out of state, you have to have it inspected to bring it into the state. It has to go through us and then to the clerk's office. You don't have to do any of that. You just put the tag on and drive it around. You don't have to have any insurance, anything.
It's being used to commit other crimes as well?
Anything, because there's no way to trace it. Normally we could run a temporary tag and we know who it's registered to. You don't have anything with this. That's why it's a nice commodity to have, and it's the most illegal you can have.
Is it a crime to unknowingly have a fake temporary tag?
It's fraud.
One of the reasons that I hope you can read in my face that I'm angry. I'm angry because I believe that there were some good faith purchasers, because of ignorance, that thought they were purchasing tags from notaries. And with that, now they're caught themselves in the middle of a criminal investigation. And so I think it's so important the public understands that in the event that you are stopped with a fake fraudulent tag, there will be a prosecution. Now, obviously there may be some defenses over mens rea, but that's why it's so important that we get this information out there. You do not purchase temporary tags. They're not available through individuals, through notaries. This is an official document that should be done through the dealership or in some limited circumstances through my Jefferson County Clerk's office. And so that's one of the reasons for this press conference, to make sure that we don't have any ignorant buyers that commit crimes by mistake. This is too important. Obviously, we're going to work with every individual that may have been defrauded themselves into doing this, and break down the culprit who's actually responsible.
And if somebody sees this or listens to this, what should they do if they think they have unknowingly gotten a fraudulent tag?
So, well, first of all, because they've caught themselves in the middle of what could appear to be criminal activity, they would contact the sheriff's office or local LMPD. In my office at 574-5680, I would be happy to be able to help in any way that we can facilitate that. We've done that on a couple occasions already, and that's one of the things that I know this has been going on for a while. And as technology increases, as technology gets better, the criminals sometimes get better. We've seen that with some of the deed fraud, we've seen some of that with the hacking, and now we're seeing it with the printing of the temporary tags. So we're going to become more and more vigilant. We're going to protect this community and make sure that the public's safe.
Is it advanced technology? Is that in regards to what to generate these tags? Like something like printing?
Well, again, I use the advanced technology across the board, as we've seen with some of the deed fraud, that we've seen some of the hacking that's coming to our websites, and then honestly, you see with the increased ability of some of the printers, they get better and better. You've seen the same thing with the currency, and you look at some of the fraud as we've seen with our money. And so, as the criminals get more and more abrasive, we will stand out and fight back just as well. This is mostly about protecting the public. Had a story of a very young man that was driving around on a fraudulent temporary tag, and unbeknown to himself, he thought he had purchased a car. They put that on there. All of a sudden, he got really close to getting himself wrapped up in some trouble that he did not belong to. And so, I'm not going to make sure that no criminals or fraud can utilize our office to be able to swindle the public. And so that's why we're working so hard with our local law enforcement. I know this has been going on for a few years, but it's going to stop.
Is it one group of people doing this, or is it?
No, unfortunately, it looks like there's several different small groups that have been doing this for several years. Everything, at one point, we've had some that were stolen from a dealership that was sold out, and now we have some that are being printed. Looks like something that purchased online from other places. And then my law enforcement officers, they can talk about their different investigations, but each one may be different. All in all, no matter how they're obtaining these things, they're illegal, it's wrong, it's fraud, and they will be prosecuted.
And for law enforcement, how do you know that you've come across fraudulent tags? Is it when you pull somebody over and run a tag, or how's it?
Just when you look at these two tags, you can tell the difference. The way they're filled out, barcode, things of that nature, you can just tell. It's obvious to you when you see it.
And how did you come across these? Did you make a traffic stop?
Well, with this particular investigation, this was the result of a tip from somebody that let us know about the post on Facebook group back later too. But in previous cases, it's been the result of traffic stops. This is a newer style temp tag. The older ones, there was more information that we could see at a glance that really led us to be able to determine whether they were real or not. These have some other aspects to them that also help us identify the fraudulent ones, as you just said. So that's generally how we come across them. I'm sure the sheriff's office sees a lot of them coming through their auto inspection centers. I know that they've made several cases from finding them there.
This is not a victimless crime. Absolutely not a victimless crime, and that's why it's important to get it out to the public. If you know someone doing this, report it. Make sure that we don't have another person who is struggling, who has purchased a temp tag and is now violating the law. And sometimes they're playing on the ignorance of the community. They're playing on people who may be in really vulnerable situations. There's the right way to do this. And purchasing a temporary tag online or even through a licensed notary is fraudulent, it's illegal, and it's not appropriate or proper. The right way to do it is through the dealership, or in limited circumstances would be through the clerk's office. So if someone's done that to you, pick up the phone, call your sheriff, the sheriff, you call my office, call LMPD, and we'll get started on fixing it.
Thank you all very much.